Editing. You don't have to do original content on your own. You don't have to. Curation and editing and doing a clip is some of the most useful content that can help you get started. So in a video, you don't even need to talk. You just needed to clip somebody else's video of a 10 to 15-second clip. And that's useful, and that's something that you can do a reaction to where you're not even talking and giving analysis. That's called the treasure of my 2 cents. 536670912. Street Smart Brand Development. Yes, it's chapter 13. And yes, you as a brand is an intimidating concept because you're like, oh, I'm not happy with where my brand is. In Street Smarts, what we're doing that could be resourceful is that we're taking stuff that exists and then putting pen to paper and connecting it into a new thing. An example of this is Duck 9, where I took 2 books, Ultimate Credit Handbook and What They Don't Teach You at Harvard Business School. I took 2 books. Stop. I took 2 books. Stop saying three-way, okay? It's a book club of 2 books that I turned into Duck 9. So the way that I read Jerry Detweiler's book, The Ultimate Credit Handbook, was what do we need to focus on as a college student in getting a FICO score so that way we never owe money in the future? Because the book was written for everybody. And so I want the book to be applied to me as a college student. And so that's Street Smart Brand Development, where you're saying thank you to Mark McCormack, who wrote What They Don't Teach at Harvard Business School, and you're saying thank you to Jerry Detweiler. And do you see how there's no risk to that? There might be only 20 views, but one of the views is the author of the book. That's what a Jedi in business administration is. It's buying a book, reading it kind of fast, but let's say you read slow, okay, no worries. A Jedi in business administration is where you interact with the author because the author, they need to join your book club. You think that the author is like, oh, I wrote a book, screw everybody else, I'm awesome. Once you write a book, all you hear is criticism. Oh, this book lacks this. Oh, this book could be better for that. But if you tell the author the positive ramifications of what you did with Irv Grousbeck's book, they will literally let you into business school. Did I just reveal how Warren Buffett got into Columbia? Yeah, on page 117 of Snowball. Yeah, on page 123 of Snowball. And do you see how if you run into Warren Buffett in Omaha or in Houston for the Super Bowl, you can tell that to him. Because how we interact with authors is this formula. Oh my God, 5 tips. It's perfect. Which is 2 positives, 1 negative. I would even skew to 4 or 5 positives and no negative. You definitely don't want to start with the negative, which some people will do. So it's 2 positives and 1 negative. And if the negative can be made into a positive, that's even better. Here's an example. I was reading chapter 17 of your book. You don't want to start with a pre-roll. kind of like how YouTube videos all start in the middle and then they're like, but wait, let me back up a little bit. So you start with, I read chapter 17, Mr. Grossbeck, of your book, your chapter on bankruptcy, and I had two questions. One, can you expand on collateral? Two, when you are talking about the issue of default, how does that connect to lecture 11 of your business school class, Strategic Management 353? Do you see how now he's going to be like, who the fook is this guy, right? Because then he'll ask, where you don't want to start with, hi, I'm a University of Illinois engineering major with a shitty GPA. Yawn. What, you want a recommendation letter? You're not coming to school here. Or, good luck getting into school. Ace your GMATs. Useless, boring, I want to die in this conversation. Or you say, hi, I'm a 6'5" quarterback and I want to come play football at Michigan and my issues are recruit me. Wah. Me. Right? Boring. Or you say, hi, I'm Larry Chang. Tom Brady, he's my mentor. I had a question, Mr. Brady, about the third quarter of the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay because you did something. Oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps. That's how awesome it is. So in the third quarter, you did something different. Do you remember that? Oh yeah, I totally remember that. Asking specific questions. And then when you ask specific questions, we get to progress versus asking a super general question or needing to talk about yourself. No, book club is where you're asking, hey, Mr. Buffett, is it true that you interfaced with Ben Graham using paper correspondence in a one-to-one communication where you asked him, hey, are you literally seriously still alive right now? Because that makes you a living legend. Yeah, I'm still alive. You use my book? Cool. Tell me how you use my book. That's literally how Warren Buffett went from University of Lincoln, University of Nebraska, Omaha. You see how I mixed up Lincoln? Because he didn't go to the good branch of University of Nebraska. He went to the shitty one. You know how like University of, you know how like California's got like 80 state schools and the only good one is UC Irvine, right? And so he went to the Cal State or the University of California, Los Angeles branch of Omaha. Yeah, seriously. Warren Buffett, University of Nebraska, comma, Omaha. Not the good one in Lincoln. So he goes to University of Nebraska, Omaha, writes a letter to Ben Graham, who at the time was teaching at Columbia, because he teaches in Columbia. Columbia, like the tier 2 Ivy school. Writes a letter to him. Ben Graham writes back, and then before you know it, Warren Buffett gets a verbal offer to attend. In fact, book Snowball is true story. The book Snowball has 64 chapters. Guess what chapter 65 is? I wrote it, which is Columbia. Because Warren Buffett did not mention Steve Blank, who teaches at Columbia. That's what chapter 65 is. Do you see how your bibliography is your Achilles heel?